Hey y'all. Here I am again. I do my best studying and reading and stuff at night or this time. And for some reason, anybody who knows me knows that one of my favorite books in the Bible is the book of Ruth. Well, a lot of people, they have their reasons for it. Oh, with Boaz, is I'm looking for my Boaz, this and that. And as you should. And it is one of the best love stories in the Bible. But in my reading, I found, um, well, I have a couple of points that I had to write and take my notes and everything. So I'm gonna make it brief and quick. But I came up with it says the four things that us singles could learn from the book and from the scenes in chapters 3 and 4 of Ruth. And point number one is don't overlook what's in front of you. Boaz was single, true enough, but somehow he overlooked Ruth at first. Somehow he overlooked her. And God placed her right in front of him. And sometimes God places people in our lives and in our paths, but we fail to see or notice them because of either past hurts or past relationships, or maybe a situation that you're in now, relationship wise, and you've been hurt by others, so that you just tend to block everything else out, and that person goes unnoticed. Or, which is one of my favorites. Well, I don't want to say favorites, but one of the a big thing is, especially when it comes to us women, when it comes to men or our mate, you're either too busy, um, you know, to notice. You're too busy doing other things that, yes, they very well may be very important things, but we tend to overlook the let's see, the obvious and important things when our minds and stuff are clouded and full of other stuff that we have going on and just overloaded. And we tend to forget, well, not really forget, we tend to not notice or pay attention. I'll put it that way. And sometimes God could be placing things right there, literally right in your eyesight, in your line of fire. And yes, I do know that what God has for you is for you. But sometimes we tend to ignore those signs as well. Could very well be God, and He does know how to get our attention. And sometimes, even if we know, He knows that it's gonna take a while to get our attention, or we just that stubborn and that we don't pay attention or not noticing. He'll let us go and bust our butt and heads until we say, and then he'll bring and say, well, hey, I placed it right here in front of you and you wasn't even paying attention. But you had to take all this long route around finding and doing whatever it was that you were trying to do and wanted to do it your way instead of doing my way. So that was one of the first points. And let's see, my second point was feel free to get in someone's way. Sometimes we tend to, well, I don't want to bother him, I don't want to bother her, or I'm not going to do this or do that, or, if he want me, he'll do this or do, and that's one of my big things. Like, I'm not going to be throwing myself at you. I'm not going to do that. And, this is what, she didn't throw herself at Ruth. What she did it discreetly is what she did. Coming from where she came from, pretty much the odds were against her, period, of her even being there. So, but she knew she had to work for her and for her mother-in-law, and she knew she had to make a living. They had to eat. So she quietly went to work, worked and worked and worked, and eventually, you notice, like, hey, who is that lady over there? So she placed herself in a position to be noticed, but not to be noticed, if that makes sense. Because when she went into it, she wasn't going in there saying, oh, I'm going to go after Boaz. That's what I'm going to do. No, that's not what she did. She went going to work and trying to be discreet so that, she wouldn't get in trouble, or, they wouldn't try to do, whatever to her, because she was not from that. That was not even her territory of what she was supposed to do. She was there with her mother-in-law. and that was her mother-in-law's family and her mother-in-law's territory. So, but I mean, you have to go read book and read Ruth and get the history and all that later. But she got in the way discreetly. Sometimes the things that you do not say or do are the things that go noticed, if that makes any sense. Third point was every relationship has its obstacles to overcome, which reveals how committed one person is to another. In this case, it was the legal and financial hurdle that blocked the path and the marriage for Boaz and Ruth. And what it was technically there was somebody else next in line to take care of, or next kinsman, and or next in line to take care of, and would take care of Ruth and Naomi because of gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, no, they were the next in line to take care of them since everybody else in her family was dead, pretty much. And when Boaz decides, okay, well, yeah, this is a woman that I'm going to marry, but he can't because somebody else is next in line to take care of and take on this woman and marry her and her future and everything else. So in the book, they go into town, and he's doing all this stuff, the proper procedure, what they have to go through in order for him to be the next kinsman in line. The other man didn't want it because he said he didn't want to mess up what he had going on in the future or what was going to come up next. So, it was almost like a little pebble thrown into the path. And that tends to happen when we're on this journey in life. We'll have to cross different hurdles and milestones, be it small or big, to get to where we're trying to go. Say, for instance, marriage. We'll go through a couple of relationships or bad relationships or things that happen in a relationship that you're in, which creates the stepping stones for you in order to get to that relationship or said marriage or the next step in the relationship. Last point, and I'm trying to make it quick, sorry y'all. Every relationship has character tests that show us and the one that we are with who we truly are. The tests, if passed, become a part of our testimony, as was the cause with Ruth and Boaz. Like I just said, it's a stepping stone in the process of getting to where you need to be and need to go. Now, this story in history is, told years later, all these thousands of years later, because of the process, the steps that it took for it to get to now. It's one of the greatest love stories in the Bible. A lot of times, we rather go from point A to Z. We'd rather go from A to Z than to go A and a half, B and a half, C, back to A, back to B, because there will be those milestones that come. No relationship is perfect, but there will definitely be little pebbles thrown, big pebbles, little stones, big mountains, little mountains, deep valleys. But if you love someone and really and truly feel like that is the one, or that that's the one that God has placed in your path for you, and he's the one or she is the one for you, then you take those stones and milestones as they come. And you take them and you deal with them, but you deal with them together with God. So, just kind of some points. I was up reading, like I say, that's what I do. And, yeah, so I hope you guys, just have a great night, great weekend. I always enjoy talking to y'all. But anyway, y'all have a good night. And y'all, I will talk to you guys later. Be blessed.